Hello, amazing English learners. Have you ever been mid-conversation with a native English speaker? Everything's going great. You're understanding almost every word, and then, bam, they throw out a phrase like bite the bullet or cost an arm and a leg, and suddenly your brain freezes. It's like they've switched to a secret code, right? Well, today on Unlock B2 English, we are going to crack that code wide open. I'm Sarah, and our mission is to transform your intermediate English into confident, fluent communication.
And I'm Mark. We're absolutely thrilled to have you with us because today we're diving deep into the fascinating, sometimes frustrating, but ultimately rewarding world of idioms and colloquialisms. These are the expressions that truly make your English sound natural.
Absolutely, Mark. Idioms are those fantastic phrases where the meaning isn't obvious from the individual words. It's raining cats and dogs doesn't mean animals are falling from the sky. They're everywhere in natural English, and mastering them is a huge step towards sounding more native, less like a textbook, and more like a real person having a real conversation.
Exactly. And we know many B2 learners feel a bit stuck here. You might have a great grasp of grammar and a solid vocabulary, but then these non-literal phrases appear and it feels like hitting a wall. The key is consistent exposure and practical application, and that's what we're going to give you today. We've got 10 really common, super useful idioms to share with you, complete with real-life examples.
Let's jump right in with our first one. Imagine a friend is about to take a big exam or perform on stage. What's a common way to wish them good luck that isn't just good luck? We say, to break a leg. Mark, you're about to give a big presentation next week. Break a leg. It's a little strange, isn't it? It has nothing to do with actually hurting yourself, but it's used all the time. For example, before a job interview, you might tell someone, "You've studied hard, you've prepared well. Now go in there and break a leg." It's a way of sending positive energy.
That's a classic. Now picture this. Someone explains a complex situation, and they describe it so perfectly, so accurately, that you can't add anything more. They've hit the nail on the head. Sarah, your explanation of idioms just now really hit the nail on the head. It was clear and concise. This idiom means you've said something that is exactly right or true. If a detective figures out a mystery, you could say, "Wow, you really hit the nail on the head with your theory." Or if someone identifies the core problem in a discussion, "She hit the nail on the head when she said our main issue is communication."
Excellent example. Our next idiom is one we often use when facing something unpleasant or difficult that we just have to get through. That's to bite the bullet. I really didn't want to work this weekend, but I had to bite the bullet and finish the report before the deadline. It means to endure a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage because there's no other option. Think about having to do something you really dislike, like a boring task or an uncomfortable conversation. The project budget was tight, so we had to bite the bullet and cancel the team lunch. Or if you're sick and need to take unpleasant medicine, it tastes awful, but you just have to bite the bullet and take it.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to bite the bullet. And speaking of opportunities, our next one is crucial. To miss the boat. If you don't apply for that scholarship soon, you'll miss the boat. This means to lose an opportunity by not acting quickly enough. Imagine a great concert ticket goes on sale, but you wait too long and they sell out. You've missed the boat. Or in a business context, we should have invested in that technology years ago. Now our competitors have developed it and we've completely missed the boat. It's about timing and seizing chances.
That's so true. Don't miss the boat on practicing these idioms. Now, for anyone who dislikes indirect communication, this next one is for you. To beat around the bush. Stop beating around the bush and just tell me what you want. This idiom means to avoid coming to the point, to speak indirectly or evasively. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone is clearly trying to tell you something, but they keep talking about other things? They are beating around the bush. If you're trying to get a direct answer, you might say, "Please, don't beat around the bush, just tell me the bad news." Or, "I wish he'd just be direct instead of beating around the bush all the time."
Right. Sometimes you just need to get to the point. Next up, an idiom about money, specifically about things that are very expensive, is to cost an arm and a leg. That new sports car must have cost an arm and a leg. This is a vivid way to say something is extremely expensive. Think about luxury items, dream vacations, or perhaps a sudden, large, unexpected expense. Getting my car repaired after the accident cost an arm and a leg. Or, I'd love to buy a house in the city center, but they cost an arm and a leg there. It's a common exaggeration to emphasize high cost.
It certainly does, and related to cost, sometimes people try to save money or time by doing things cheaply or quickly, often sacrificing quality. That's to cut corners.
They cut corners on safety, and now they're facing serious problems with the building. This means to do something in the easiest, quickest, or cheapest way, often by sacrificing quality or proper procedures. It usually has a negative connotation. For instance, a student might cut corners on their homework by copying from a friend, or a company might cut corners on materials to increase profits, which can lead to poor results. You can't cut corners when it comes to healthy eating. It's about consistency, not quick fixes.
Very true. Quality over speed. Our next idiom is about releasing emotional baggage, to get something off your chest.
I had to get it off my chest and tell her how I really felt about the situation. This means to express something that has been worrying or bothering you, typically a complaint, a secret, or a confession. It's about feeling a sense of relief after sharing something that was weighing you down. After I told him what was bothering me, I felt so much better. I really got it off my chest. Or, if a friend is looking upset, you might ask, "You seem troubled. Do you want to get something off your chest?"
That feeling of relief is wonderful. Now, let's talk about those days when you're just not quite yourself. You're not seriously ill, but you don't feel 100%. You might feel under the weather.
I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I might go home early. This simply means to feel slightly unwell or sick. It's a polite and common way to say you're not feeling well without going into detail. I can't come to the party tonight. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Or, she's been under the weather all week with a cold. It's perfect for those mild ailments.
A very useful one for those days. And finally, for something that doesn't happen very often, we say, once in a blue moon.
We only see our distant relatives once in a blue moon. This idiom means very rarely. The phrase comes from the idea of a blue moon, which is the second full moon in a single calendar month, a relatively rare astronomical event. So if something happens once in a blue moon, it means it's quite unusual. I love to bake, but I only do it once in a blue moon because I don't have much time. Or, he only cleans his apartment once in a blue moon.
Fantastic! We've covered 10 incredibly common and useful idioms today. Remember, the key to mastering them is not just memorizing definitions, but seeing them and using them in context. That's how they become second nature.
Exactly. These aren't just fancy phrases. They're the building blocks of natural, fluent conversation. Using them will make your English sound more authentic, and understanding them will improve your comprehension of native speakers.
And speaking of tricky idioms, here's a little riddle for you. something to keep in mind until the very end of the episode. There's an idiom that sounds like you're incredibly busy, but actually implies you're not busy at all. Can you guess what it is? Keep listening and we'll reveal the answer later.
Now, for your weekly challenge, think about one of the idioms we discussed today that resonated with you. Perhaps the feel under the weather, or to get something off your chest. Can you think of a situation from your own life where you could use it?
Try to form a sentence or two using it. Write down your thoughts, or even better, record a short voice note describing it. Share it with a friend, or keep it as a personal reflection. The important thing is to actively engage with the question. The more you use the language, the faster you'll improve.
That's it for our episode on idioms. We're so thrilled to have you here and hope you feel more confident about using these fantastic expressions.
We hope you're as excited as we are about this journey. Remember to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you don't miss any new episodes.
Oh, and before we sign off, did you figure out our idiom riddle? The idiom that sounds like you're super busy, but actually means you're not busy at all, is to have time on your hands. If you have time on your hands, it means you have nothing to do or a lot of free time. For example, since I finished the project early, I've had a lot of time on my hands. Tricky, right?
Yes, a very good one, Mark. And if you enjoyed today's topic on making your English sound more natural, you might also like our episode 12, Stop Saying I Think, 10 Expert Alternatives to Express Your Opinion. It's another great way to add nuance to your speaking.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back in a few days with our next episode.
See you then.